Who's the most perfect person you know? Did you say yourself? Well, most men wouldn't. And if you do, well, I may need to make another video about that. Most of us as men don't really consider ourselves as perfect because, well, we know ourselves. However, too often we hold ourselves up to a standard of perfection that's really impossible to meet. And that really hurts us as men. Let's find out in today's video why. When I got married, I loved to go to my wife's grandmother's house. She was one of those country cooks who cooked all kinds of great food. She would have a giant table spread and it was always good. But when we sat down to eat, it was hilarious because she would start bad-mouthing her own food. She'd be like, well, this is a little undercooked, this is that. And I never understood it. I was just shoveling it in, going, Granny, this is great. As I started cooking more, I find my own imperfections. Now, that's not a big deal when you're talking about cooking, but for many men, it's a big deal in their life. So what we're going to do today is look at the 3 ways perfection hurts us as men. Because if we don't get on top of it, it'll keep us from being the men we really were designed to be. Okay, the first thing is that perfection breeds passiveness. See, a lot of men, they fear messing up so much, they don't try. It's that saying I talk about all the time, if you can't do something right, don't do it at all. And really, for a lot of us as men, we apply that to a lot of areas in our life. I did it when I played football in high school. I was so afraid of messing up, I couldn't play better. And many men that today we would consider passive are really just perfectionists. They're just afraid of messing up. Maybe they've messed up in the past and it really hurt them, so they don't want to try again. You see guys do that with relationships all the time. But many men have a hard time moving on with projects and things in their life because they're scared of messing up. And that messing up has caused them to become passive. They just don't care. Or they act like they don't care when really they're just perfectionists. And the thing you want to do as a man is start to ask yourself, why am I passive? What's going on with this? Maybe you're just a perfectionist who's kind of hiding behind it. Hey guys, check out davidmaxwellcoaching.com. On it, there's resources designed to help you live your adventure as a man. You've got your own adventure to live, and I want to help you do it. And there's resources there at davidmaxwellcoaching.com to help you be better. Check it out. All right, the second thing is that perfection can be a form of procrastination. You see, a lot of us as men, we can use perfectionism as a way to just procrastinate, to avoid trying something, to avoid doing something. And this can be in all kinds of areas of our life. A lot of times we do it with like jobs around the house, the honey-do list that we never get to, or work responsibilities that we just kind of ignore, or relationships that we just kind of put off. You see, we use the fact that we can't do it perfect to keep us from even trying. We think to ourselves, well, I can't do it, so I'm not going to try, or I may not do it that well. It's paralysis by analysis. You see, you're always thinking about it or planning to do it, but you're never actually doing it. And that's how a lot of men do it with perfection. They always think, well, I want to do it when it's perfect. And many men live in this state, but it doesn't satisfy them because they know they're not really getting anything done. They know they want to do something, so then they start beating themselves up. And what we have to do as men is recognize that, understanding that no one is perfect. Nothing we do will ever be perfect. You see, perfection is unobtainable. You can't do it because you're not perfect, but you can do your best. And when you give your best, you'll get better every single time. The Confident Man podcast is a weekly podcast coaching session with me and you. It's just a chance for you to be encouraged, to be challenged. It's really designed to help you live your adventure. So check it out on all the major platforms, the Confident Man podcast. All right, guys, the third thing is perfectionism keeps us from our purpose. You see, life isn't perfect and we won't be perfect, but we need to choose to live life on purpose over trying to be perfect. We'll never be perfect, but we can live on purpose. Living on purpose opens us up to grow, to learn, to get better. Perfectionists will avoid criticism, and so they work to maintain an image so they don't grow and they don't get better because they're too busy propping themselves up. You see, purpose drives us to want the best no matter what. We're willing to change, to get better because we're living on purpose. People on purpose crave feedback. They always want to get better because they understand feedback's not personal. It's for the purpose. I'm not saying that it won't hurt if someone tells you you're not doing good at something or you've got to improve, but the hurt makes us better. It's kind of like when you were a kid, you'd get a cut and they would pour like alcohol on it, and that alcohol would hurt, but it started healing. It was the healing process. And sometimes we need those hurts in our life. But when you're a perfectionist, you run away from that. But when you live on purpose, you accept it. You go after it. You see, living on purpose frees you from the bondage of perfectionism. You've got a more realistic view of yourself and others and what you're trying to do. And you can connect with people better. And you can actually have stronger relationships when you live on purpose rather than being a perfectionist. That's because perfection expects others to be perfect, and it hurts the relationships. We try to be perfect and we expect others to be perfect, and it's just not capable of doing. Purpose is better than perfection every single time. What's your purpose as a man? Are you spending all of your energy day after day trying to maintain an image? Trying to be perfect? I want to challenge you to find your own purpose. Find that purpose that you live out each and every day. You can start by knowing yourself. I've got a free 4A assessment, and in it, it'll help you kind of figure out what you're all about, who you are. It'll measure you in achievements, appetites, attitudes, and action. It's a free assessment to help you be a better man, and you can find it at davidmaxwellcoaching.com.